Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Ichiro, and Felix Hernandez. Are those the four best players, or as most people like to call it, the Mount Rushmore of the Seattle Mariners? I believe so personally. Those are the four best players in franchise history. And I think someone like Julio Rodriguez is going to be challenging for that mantle in probably no time. And it's going to be really interesting to see if he actually is able to, pass Ken Griffey Jr. as the greatest Seattle Mariner of all time, who has it like with a stranglehold, right? So in general, my question is, those are the four people in the Mount Rushmore. Now, there are some candidates. Some people might argue that Alex Rodriguez could be, because we did go to the playoffs, three times with Alex Rodriguez, and we've been to the playoffs a total of, five times in the franchise's history. Some people might say Jay Buhner could deserve that fourth spot. Kyle Seager, a lot of people would argue. I would completely disagree with. And of course, Randy Johnson is another option of someone who could be in the Mount Rushmore of Seattle Mariners greats. Now, also, Robinson Cano had some great seasons, but I think the top four is pretty much set up. Unless you want to go back to the beginning of the days of the Seattle Mariners before they became a franchise that would actually do anything. But those are the top four, and I think it's pretty simple to me. Ken Griffey Jr., who is the greatest Seattle Mariner of all time. He's unbelievable. He's the best, probably, Seattle athlete of all time, despite never winning a championship with the Seattle Mariners. But he saved baseball in the city. Felix Hernandez won a Cy Young Award, was a Mariner basically his whole entire career. I know he went to Baltimore and Atlanta, but he never really got to pitch there in a Major League Baseball game. So in general, he's been a Seattle Mariner his whole entire career, and he's, just a Seattle legend in general. Ichiro, who obviously, he broke the record for most hits in a season. He helped lead the team to 116 wins, won the Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. So that's easy. And Edgar Martinez, arguably the greatest designated hitter of all time. How could you not have Edgar Martinez there as, someone who is just a staple and a Hall of Famer? So those are my Seattle Mariners Mount Rushmore. Would like to see you in the comments tell me who you think could either replace, like Julio Rodriguez, someone who's the last spot. And if I was to rank them, I would rank them number 1, Griffey, number 2, Edgar, number 3, Ichiro, and number 4, Felix. So if anyone was going to come off that, it's probably Felix, even though he's probably a fan favorite for a lot of, especially my generation.